Hey, this is the world's largest Reformation monument, and you could have a day interpreting the statues and who and what and why. And
Yesterday I had a school group, so 8.
crowd around if you want to hear it,
yeah,
guys.
and I said, usually we need 2 hours for you to interpret this monument, but I'll do that in 5 minutes for you. And they were relaxed for that. Promise.
Right.
So, no, this monument was realized at the end of the 19th century when the city came back a little bit to welfare, when they got more money by that industry which was settled here. And then they had time and energy to remember their history. And I thought, well, this city here, Worms, was such an important place. Martin Luther was here, and this famous diet took place here. So let's do something to show the world that we once have been so important. And they asked an artist of Dresden to construct a monument, and he had the idea to build a fortress, a mighty fortress. I already referred this song of Martin Luther, and he built it, opened it at one side, and put statues on the pinnacles. And of course, in the middle tower, he put Martin Luther on, not a monk. So it is not the story of our diet. It is a symbolized monument. Martin Luther is not the monk, he came here. He is the preacher of the time afterwards.
And this is different. You'll see the Reformation Wall monument. I'm sorry, I'm in the
in Geneva.
It's this big, long, huge marble thing. There's Calvin staring at his kind of face. This is much more kind of humanistic. You see the face. You actually wow, pretty cool. And then you got Tyndale, you got Savonarola on the left with his finger up. I believe that's
Savonarola.
And he's the guy who had the burning, the bonfire of the vanities. And I think Florence. And
the Medici,
all the wicked evil books they burned together, and then he was then later, I believe, killed. A lot of these people had really rough challenges, not always fared well, but they I'd like to say, hopefully fulfilled their calling. Human and frail as we are, they had issues, sin and fear as well, but I don't know. That's the Hall of Heroes here.
Yeah, it is more or less didactic installations, because you have various levels.
Why don't we go up and take a look closer, guys?
Yes, various levels of yes. Let's start.
And there's websites with links as to who's what and who's who.
That's Martin Luther in the middle with the Bible closed and the fist on it. So he says, "I've done it. I will not." Huh? I know everything. It's a little bit well, but he says, and he has one foot in front and the other back. So it's a very stable standing, like a Greek soldier on a statue. So nothing could move him. Under his feet, we read that sentence: Hier stehe ich kann nicht anders, Gott helfe mir, Amen. Here I stand, I have no opportunity, God may help me, Amen. Children said, well, he has no opportunity because it's so small where he stands on. No, so Martin Luther in the middle. But he's not the first with such ideas. He could only be successful because other people did or worked in the same directions. And so we have the 4 pre-reformers. We have Jan Hus, Savonarola, John Wycliffe, and Petrus Waldus. And if you listen close to the name, you see they come from different countries. Waldus from France, 12th century. John Wycliffe, 14th century from England. Jan Hus from Bohemia, 14th, 15th century. And then 15th century, Savonarola from Italy. So the whole world. Pre-reformers or reform ideas in the whole world. That is meant with those 4 statues. And then around we have two humanists in the back, teachers of the time. One of them, Philip Melanchthon, was a close friend to Martin Luther. And meanwhile, Martin Luther was sitting at the Wartburg. Melanchthon brought him books. You know, Luther was terribly bored, being fenced in that castle on top of the hill. So he needed to feed his brain, and so Melanchthon brought him books. And what he did at the end, he translated the Gospels into German, gave us a common language. Right? It's just a side effect, but it worked. And the other one, that's the uncle of Melanchthon, Reuchlin is his name. He studied the old languages. He was a professor of Latin and Greek and Hebrew, and his books were brought to Luther by the nephew Melanchthon. He is also a member of that first German humanism, where those old traditions, old languages, the antique was studied and brought back in mind of people. So therefore he's standing for the time, you know, for the spirit of the intellectuals. And in front we have two politicians. His protector, Frederick the Wise, the sovereign of Saxony. He brought him to the Wartburg. He looked after him here in Worms. He took care of him. He protected him. The other one, Philip the Generous from Hessen. He was a young man, as the king. He was a young man as well. 21 years was Charles V. He had only 19 years here in Worms, and they made world politics. Well, so Philip the Generous, from him we know, let Luther preach, I will meanwhile settle the horses to fight. He fought wars. And that is the result of that moment here in Worms, is that we have a separation. We have a gap in the world, because Christianity until that time was just one big what is that, caution can I say, one big caution in the world, in whole Europe at that time. And now Luther brings like a cut in that caution, and all the feathers come out. So a lot of happenings afterwards occurred, and the most cruel are the wars that came in from the peasants' wars, or the war of the 30 years, which caused a lot of victims, and for that lady is mourning. Yeah. She's mourning for all the victims caused by the wars led in the name of God after that Reformation died here in Worms. The other lady with the palm leaf, she refers to a peace the Protestants made with the emperor in Augsburg. She is called the Peace of Augsburg. And then we have one lady, you have already seen her, or we can have a look at her.
We need to be sort of quick though, which is unfortunate.
No, let's go in, it's safer. Come here. Oh yeah. In the back, she's representing the city of Speyer, where also a giant happened soon after Worms, in Speyer. And there in Speyer, some of the members rose and quitted the fellowship to the emperor. They said, we will not follow you any longer in case you do not stop persecuting the Protestants. No, not the Lutherans. So, and this group, which rose, got the nickname the Protestants. And this nickname is now because they were protesting against. They said, well, we get up. The Protestant, and she is also protesting.
So these are all cities that allied themselves with Reformation thinking early on. Lübeck and Schmalkalden.
Yes, Schmalkalden and Strasbourg. They all belong to that first Lutheran allies and Protestant movement. Between the pre-reformers, we have reliefs referring to the life, to the work of Martin Luther, and of course the theme here in Worms, where he met the emperor and where he stood. Here I hier stehe ich, ich kann nicht anders, Gott helfe mir, Amen. Here I stand, I have no opportunity, God may help me, Amen. That's the sentence here. And about in the under this writing we have the scene of the diet on the 17th of April. Left we see the king, the emperor, see him at the question, and then the accuser Ecken, then the table with the books, Martin Luther right in the middle of it, and he has the hand on his heart and says, well, I cannot. And then members of the empire, so just typical members. And, which is very curious, him, he is the artist who did the monument.
Yeah. Cool.
Like in the medieval a picture where always the artist or the donator who gave the money are inside the picture, he is also inside the picture. Well, so his name is Anston Schell.
I think we should walk back, maybe pop into the church and get back to.
Let's,
We just have such a long day. We maybe get to our hotel at 6 o'clock.
No,
maybe.
any questions? No?